Just driving back from Syracuse University now. Just got done leafleting. Today's acceptance rate was definitely lower than when I went to Cortland. So I don't know if it was because it's a private school or because the kids here have more money. And I feel like generally the people who are more open to veganism are people who don't come from money, if that makes sense, even though majority of people will say, oh, I can't go vegan because I can't afford it, but most of the time I've found, I'm not trying to stereotype here, but I've found that most of the time people who don't come from a whole lot of money have more empathy for other people and animals and the planet and stuff like that. Just think about other people more often. Just what I've noticed. So even though the rejection rate was definitely noticeably higher, still most people took the pamphlets. It was probably like 1 in 10 people would say no. And I definitely noticed the herd mentality today because I was at a bus stop handing out leaflets, and it wasn't just like, the class changes. Like, it was just like steady, like throughout the whole day. It wasn't just like every once an hour get like a huge rush for like 15 minutes. It was like a small rush every like 2 or 3 minutes or something like that. So it was much steadier because I was at a bus stop. I noticed the herd mentality today too. It wasn't just like people like with their friends, it was just someone who was behind them. Like there was one time that I tried to hand it to someone and they said no. And they were the first person that I tried to hand to in like that cluster of people getting off the bus, and then the next person said no. And then and I handed out like one leaflet because of that. And then there was a bunch of other times when I would hand out a leaflet and then the first person would say yes, and then almost every single other person would say yes. It's like I said in the last video, like it's crazy how predictable people are. Like if you get the first person, then you're almost guaranteed that you're going to get the next couple people, especially if they see you handing it out, because they're like, oh, that person took it, I guess this must be cool. This person must be handing out something awesome that I definitely want to read. So the herd mentality was totally there today. Another thing I picked up on was making sure you're not too quiet when you're leafleting, because I noticed that they were more likely to take my leaflet. You got to be kind of charismatic. You can't just be like, help animals, like something like that. And you can't be like too quiet either. Like most of the time I'd be like, hey man, help animals. And I would just like hand them a leaflet or something like that. Like, hey guys, help animals. Like, you can't be too quiet. You don't want to like scare people either, but like you don't want to yell at them. But I did notice that volume of your voice and inflection was definitely key. And I also noticed today that if you try to hand out your leaflet too early, people will say no a lot of the times. And if you hand it out too late and they're already walking by, they're like, no. But there's like a very specific time window that you have to hit. It takes some practice, but there's a very specific time window that's like perfect. And once you hit that, once you have your arm fully extended, like you pretty much nailed it. It's not really that hard, but it does take a little bit of practice. And I definitely picked up some new things today. And I'm going to be leafleting tomorrow at OCC, so I will let you guys know how that goes.